Joseph, YouTube, welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chushu Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
So guys, I had a very interesting back and forth. I didn't really go back and forth with anybody. I posted something on Instagram after a video was shared of Russell Wilson taking his daughter to her first date, right? And the first thing I shared in my story was Russell Wilson is a great father. And I think most men can agree with that. It was a precious moment, man. I looked at it and I said, you know, Russell Wilson is a great father to his children. And then I looked at the comment section. And what do you guys think I found when I checked the comment section of that post? So just to explain the video real quick, it was a really cool video of him with some flowers and he's picking his daughter up for their first date, well, her first date in specific, right? And her first date is going to be with her father. That's a positive thing, man. That's a powerful thing in a daughter's life. That daughter has the presence of a father and she's going to benefit from that in the long run. I looked at that and I really wasn't surprised. What surprised me were the comments, because while we can all agree that that was a precious moment, a lot of people took that opportunity to sort of call out men who disagree with Russell Wilson's marriage, his selection in a wife, and the way he operates his marriage. For example, check out a few of these comments. His first comment read, "Y'all can keep calling him corny, but 98% of women want a man like this in their lives, and to be an excellent father too." Again, I do not doubt that Russell Wilson is a great father. I honestly think he's a pretty good father to his kids. I don't think other women would look at Russell Wilson and say, you know what, I wouldn't want that for myself. And I think most women would look at that who maybe haven't had a father and they would say, I wish I had that for myself. Most women. And she says something here. She says 98% of women want a man like this in their lives. We're going to get back to that, right? Because things got heated very quickly. So now we're transitioning to the aftermath of this post. Before I say that, shout out to Russell Wilson. Wish his daughter the best. Peace, positivity, the best. He is a great father. May he continue to be a great father. Nothing but positivity for Russell Wilson and his influence on his kids. Now, let's focus on these comments. Let's focus on this aftermath. Next comment here read, Sierra 1, I swear, with the heart eye emojis. And that has 3,000 likes. Someone else responded back to that. A woman said, fire emoji, definitely. So these chicks are like, Sierra 1, man, she really got a keeper. And they're talking about Russell Wilson. More specifically, they're talking about the whole situation. If we're going to be honest. Russell Wilson, his status, his money, etc. Everything is included in that. And if any woman's going to say no, she would still be with him if he wasn't successful. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just wanted to be clear that they're talking about Russell Wilson and their marriage just kind of having the package deal. Next comment here added to this thread read, listen, Sierra won the World Cup of Husbands, right? With an exclamation mark. We are all living our matrimonial dreams vicariously through her marriage. All right, so we're gonna come back to this comment here as well. Is these women who are vicariously living through Sierra. Another woman here says, for any man, especially a black man, who thinks Russell is corny, nah. It's y'all who haven't healed from your mama and daddy issues. It's funny how they threw daddy in there, right? Back to that later. And another comment here reads, she will never have daddy issues or date no thugs. Because her daddy teaching her how a real man treats a woman.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
You really can't make this shit up. So this wasn't actually the climax of these comments. The climax of this comments actually was a comment I left, but it was a response to this comment, which was a question to just all men in general, in specific black men. And it read, serious question to the fellas. Why y'all don't like him or think he's corny/simp with question marks? He has illustrated top tier respect for his wife, family, the league, and community. What is it about that man that triggers you to dislike him? Y'all truly don't believe more black men should follow his lead? Like, seriously? What's wrong with you guys? So I'm just here to now bounce that question off you. What is wrong with you guys? Yes, you, that you don't like Russell Wilson. Guys, this is what happened. I said, you know what? I've done a bunch of videos on Russell Wilson, specifically one called Is Russell Wilson a Simp? It performed pretty well because I took a lot of time, because this is a serious conversation that's had over and over again. Is Russell Wilson represents something in particular when it comes to modern women's mating strategy today, in this day and age that we're living in. He represents something. And I thought, since I've made a bunch of videos, let me go ahead and respond back to this chick. And this is what I said. I said, Russell Wilson is a great father to his children. No one can argue that. And I want to go back to her comment, because she said a bunch of things that definitely aren't true, things that I don't necessarily think about Russell Wilson, right? She assumed that men don't like Russell Wilson. I have nothing against Russell. I think Russell Wilson might be a nice guy. He might even be pleasant to be around. I've never said I do not like Russell Wilson, or I think Russell Wilson is a bad person. And I don't think most men view him in that light. Now, have men called Russell Wilson corny or a simp? Yeah, they have, right? I think Russell Wilson's a simp. I've called him a simp. Other people have called him corny. I've been called corny in my life. It's just what it is. It doesn't mean that I dislike Russell Wilson. He's a simp, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about why here in a little bit. But she goes on to state a bunch of stuff like he has illustrated top tier respect for his wife. So here comes the simp part, is you're wondering, well, why do you guys call him a simp? Because you can say something like this, but the question is, has Ciara illustrated top tier respect for him in the way that she conducts herself, right? The way that she dances sexually on camera. And before you tell men what they should view as respect, maybe you should listen to how men view situations and realize that men have a different hierarchy. They've got a different way of looking at things. And one of those ways that a man views a woman who respects her man is a woman who doesn't go out and dress provocatively, seek attention. And it's not the attention that you're talking about of just like regular entertainers and she's trying to gain a following. No, sexually want male attention in the way that she carries herself online. That's disrespectful to a lot of men. And then she goes on to bring up family, the league, and the community. If you ask the average man today, do you think Russell Wilson is a good guy? Yeah, they'll probably say, he probably is. I don't know him personally, but he's probably a cool dude. But if you ask most self-respecting men if they would want a marriage like Russell Wilson, or if they would want to replicate that in their lives, they would say no. And why is that? Well, because Russell played Ciara's backup plan. She spent her time having fun with the Pookies, right? The thugs. This comment right here that literally said she will never have daddy issues or date no thugs because her daddy teaching her how a real man treats a woman. Ciara was dating thugs. Ciara has a baby by Future. Just think of how crazy that statement is. Ciara has a baby by Future. And most men would not take up that responsibility if they were in Russell Wilson's shoes. Why? Because it's an unfair trade. He's carrying the legacy of another man who could care less about his woman, their future. And to women, he's the ultimate hero. Why? Because they also do the same things. Spend the majority of their younger years partying, having children outside of wedlock, and then they're looking for the savior. He's the ideal husband to modern women. Why? Because he's the guy who's going to take care of me regardless of what I did during my peak years when I should have been capitalizing on my man. If they had it their way, they're making that guy the hero. It's like, wow, even after what I did, even when I'm bringing the baggage, the trauma, you're still going to take me up. Of course, they're going to look at Russell and say, this guy is a real man. But if you're a person who looks at the situation and you say, well, I don't think I want to wife somebody up who may be a single mother or may have too much trauma, because some single mothers, they're able to work on that themselves. But a lot of you don't want to. In fact, a lot of you think it's an honor for any man to take care of another man's kids, which is just ridiculous. From a man's perspective, He is the clean up man. And you don't have to agree with that in order for that to be true. It's true regardless of how you feel about it as a woman. Let's go back to this other comment I said we're going to go back to that reads, 98% of women want a man like this. No, they don't. The truth is 98% of women want a man like this after the streets. After being drunk off liquor, tea.
No, I'll have a tea actually.
Partying, getting their cheeks clapped by Pookie, being passed around. Then you want a man like this. If it wasn't so, then the majority of you wouldn't be single mothers. We know how this thing goes, man. Men are waking up. They know how this thing goes. Spend your youth partying it up, having fun, and then epiphany phase comes around 28, 30. You're hitting that wall. If you're not able to get this, right? If your Sierra prayer isn't answered because, you know, everybody's praying this prayer, all they're vicariously living through Sierra, then you're bitter. Then you're bitter because now you're forced to live out the consequences of your decisions. You're forced to drink coffee.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
And so going back to my comment, which actually triggered a lot of people, instead of providing insight, when all I was doing was answering the question, right? I said, a woman asked why men don't respect him. I said, instead of asking men why they don't respect him, ask yourself, why is it that the majority of you see men like Russell Wilson as your second choice, some typos there, after you have given another man your womb? And they were pissed. For example, this woman who says, this is why black men will never advance. Just say anything. For what? What did you get out of that? 5 likes to feel validated? Goofy bird. Actually, I got 66 likes. Another comment here says, I'm a man and this argument is asinine. Shaking my head. Black men, we have to do better in our thinking. This man, you know, Simser, the public enemy number 1, because they give a glimmer of hope. Oh yes, this guy thinks this way. So they do exist. We got to do better with our thinking. So doing better with your thinking is not wanting what's best for you. Because that's not what they, because you saying to women that like, hey, you know, Russell Wilson, we don't really respect him. We label that dude a simp because he's at his peak. He has all these options, but he chooses a woman who's given her youth, her best, her womb. He's getting sloppy seconds. That's all that it is. No, these are straight conversations about intersexual dynamics and relationships today. We have to have these conversations. If you say, I am not willing to do that when I am at my peak because a man is made, right? He has to create his own value. When I am Russell Wilson, or that archetype, you know, you're in your 30s, you're making money, you're growing. I also want a woman who, maybe I'm not going to get a virgin because, you know, we're living in crazy times, but I want her to at least, can she not have trauma to the 10th degree? Can she not have any kids? Can she be childless? And some guys are like, you listen, I'll date a woman with a child, but can she be feminine at least? Submissive? No. You have to think better than that. You're not allowed to want what's best for you. That's the problem with men like this. Another comment here says, a woman can do whatever she wants. I'm assuming that's supposed to say with her womb. Your thinking is narrow. And so if you're able to do whatever you want with your womb, shouldn't another man decide, since you want to know what men think, because you don't have a man, you're vicariously living through Sierra, and you want to know what they think. If you're able to do whatever you want with your womb, then a man should be able to do whatever he wants with his mate selection, his resources, whether he decides to date a single mother or not, or a modern woman, etc. Another comment here says, little girls looking for little boys to have fun with, you mean? So she's like, hey man, you're talking about little girls looking for little boys. A woman, no matter the age, that knows her worth and what she wants will choose Russell over all the little boy men. So this chick's like, hey, when a woman knows her worth, she's always going to choose Russell Wilson. Cool. Then you're basically proving my point. That's exactly what I'm saying is Sierra didn't. And most men of value would not save her from her decisions. But there's another part to this, guys. She says a woman who knows her worth. So this is coming from the assumption that women have to get to the point where now they know their worth. After they've given themselves away, But why can't we teach women their worth earlier so that they can capitalize on that man sooner? They don't want that. They want it both ways. They want to have fun in the streets. They want to party. And then eventually hit that epiphany phase and say, I'm finally ready to take time before sleeping with the man. I finally value myself. You're jumping through hoops, right? You're not getting it the first night like Pookie did. You're waiting. Didn't Russell Wilson make her wait? Let me see. Did Wilson married Sierra in 2016, but he understood the importance of celibacy before the couple tied the knot. So they were celibate before they tied the knot. Women love the idea of this story because it's a recreation of what you should have done, maintain your purity. But they love the idea of, I can hit the reset button. They want this story so bad. This comment says, when people, men and women, are young, they're looking to have fun and don't make the best decisions. Now, I agree they shouldn't be having babies at that time, and that is an issue, but both men and women look for better after they've matured. If you're a man like Russell Wilson, I have to call that out. So she's saying when men and women are young, they're both looking to have fun. No. Most men don't experience fun in the dating market until they build their value. Again, she's seeing things from the perspective of a woman. Why? Because when she was a woman, every man that she looked at was a man of value. She didn't know that because the other guys were invisible. That's why when you ask a woman what do you think of most guys? They're dogs. No, most guys aren't dogs. Most guys can't even get laid. That's how hard it is to be a man. She goes on to say, if you're a real man like Russell and want a good woman, you just have to look for women that have gone through the fun, young adult stage and have matured. There's plenty out there. We know there is. We just don't want them. What?
No, I'll have a tea actually.
We'll have a tea actually, man. Chicks there's plenty of women out there who are ready to settle down. Nah, that's the thing you're not getting. Men don't want women who are in Sierra's position. Find a woman who's done and has been through her fun phase. No. You want men to not have the best while you still get the best after making horrible decisions in your life. Think about it this way. These women want the results of what a woman who would have capitalized in her youth wants, and they're using a phenomena. They're using the exception to the rule, which is Sierra, to say it's possible. If she can do it, I want it too. You can't have it because that man also wants what's best for him. What's best for him? Well, fertility, right? Those things are important to a man. The fact that you're not, traumatized through many experiences, not carrying on another man's legacy, that's what's best for him. How could you, guys, think about this. Modern women today, right? It's I want what's best for me, resources, a smart man, a loyal husband. What do you want? A beautiful woman, preferably in her peak, cool. Somebody who's not coming in with other children, cool. And if she is, because I'm telling you, there are men out here willing to work with these women, but it gets worse. They are masculine either way. Difficult, etc. What else do I have here? And guys, that's it. To the question of why do men dislike Russell Wilson? Men don't dislike Russell Wilson. Men probably wish him the best, but they do not want his situation because he's getting the short end of the stick. Guys, of course, I'm curious to know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Listen, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of The Coffee Pot. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.